been said, fly fishing has the ability to take you away from your everyday life and immerse you into the moment. All that exists is you, the water, your surroundings, and maybe a fish. The sport has an effect on everyone who participates. For me, when I step onto a boat or into a river, my shoulders drop, and the trials and tribulations of today seem to vanish. But what if your day-to-day includes trauma, physical or emotional? What if your day-to-day involves nightmares and post-traumatic stress disorder? There is something about fly fishing. Coming up on the new Fly Fisher, we're in eastern Idaho fishing with participants and volunteers of Project Healing Waters Idaho Falls. For these vets, it's all about the sport, the camaraderie, and using fly fishing to help heal.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. Nice. Oh my goodness, that's the kind of fish that makes stickers out of.
The new Fly Fisher is supported by Semperfly, The Lodge at Palisades Creek, Fetzer Surgical, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada.
The need arose in 2005. It started at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Maryland. Project Healing Waters was developed. Project Healing Waters is a national nonprofit organization serving the veteran and military communities, specifically supporting the healing journey of those in need. They are a leading nonprofit in the area of therapeutic outdoor recreation, using the sport of fly fishing as an intervention. The restorative powers of nature and the outdoors are well documented, and for the veteran and military participants, the connectedness, camaraderie, and community found in programs directly correlate to increased sense of belonging, resilience, and post-traumatic growth. Today, there are Healing Waters chapters all over the United States, serving thousands of active military and veterans every year. We headed out to the lower reaches of the South Fork of the Snake River with Keegan Barrett to learn more about Project Healing Waters fly fishing. He and program lead Scott Ferrara started the Idaho Falls program in September of 2019 to give back to the large population of veterans in the area. This program has provided for surrounding area vets for almost 5 years, and during the struggles of the global pandemic, through concerted, personalized effort by Keegan and Scott, along with other volunteers.
This is Keegan Barrett, a guide here in eastern Idaho. Keegan, it's day one here. What's the plan for the day?
We're gonna head downstream a little bit below the confluence of the Henry's Fork and the South Fork and play on the main snake and see if we can't get some fish on some streamers.
Yep.
And have a little fun, see some new country.
All right, so rainbows for sure. Do we have a shot at browns and cutthroats?
There are shot at browns and cutthroats. The cutthroats tend to be the Snake River fine spotted, not the Yellowstone cutthroats. A little bit different breed, a little different coloring,
Yep.
but still just a lot of fun to catch.
Awesome.
Brown trout, they're not nearly as common as the rainbows are, but we should have a good time.
All right, streamer
shot at all of
fishing.
them.
I
Streamer
can't
fishing.
wait. Let's go.
Yeah. Our plan this week is to go out and show you firsthand what let you meet some of the veterans and see some of our activities and talk to them and see where they're at in life now versus before the program and see what the program offers to them. And then we also want to show the volunteers too that there's something filling in their hearts as well, that makes it easier for them to continue and dedicate to the program. So just above us here, there's this gravel bar that comes out and tails off right about here, and it drops off. Right at the bottom of it, all out and right here, there's a big pool. And those fish like to hang in those deeper pools and ambush bait fish. So we're gonna work it from each side and see if we can't put something in the net.
Fish and streamers.
Fish and streamers. Next cast, throw that out the other direction.
And let it swing across.
Yeah, let that swing down into the hole, you know, down about your 11 o'clock. And when it gets down about your 11 o'clock, start stripping it back.
Swing it or strip it?
Both.
So I've got an interesting situation here as a left-handed caster, casting to both sides of the river out the back side of this jet boat. If I cast over the boat, I have a risk of hooking myself or Keegan, just like I did there. Now, the interesting part about this is that I've got wind blowing upriver, which means that fly is gonna blow into me as I'm casting, as you just saw. So what I'm doing to effectively get my flies out on my back cast is I'm using the water, letting the fly line land, and then using the water pressure, the water tension, to be able to load the rod and get that full fly line out across the river so that I can swing it and fish it. So when you've got wind coming against you, use the water to load your line, to load your cast. Look at that, 60-foot cast there without a false cast. See them jumping down there?
You sure those are carp?
Nope.
I say we just float down to them.
And they're gonna be down in here, right?
Yeah, down in here, right off what we're looking at over in here. As it comes off of these riffles, it oxygenates that water as well. So it's, you know, it gives them a better breath. So they don't have to exert hardly any energy to hang out here and hopefully get a fish or a meal that'll come to them. Hey, there we go.
Right at the end, on the dangle, hey? I was just about to start stripping it in. We've got this great little set of almost tiny little plunge riffles coming in, and it's created this pool down here where these fish are congregating and they're hoovering up anything that's coming down over here. So really, these fish can be anywhere from nose up to the riffle, right down to, as long as you can cast below the boat. I was just finished my swing through. I was just about to bring up, and this fish came and ate it. Sweet, good fish to start the day, Keegan. That's fun. Pretty rainbow. Good fish to start the trip. Not a giant, but you know what? To get started, let's get him back in the water. It's a good one. So Keegan, what do you call this fly? This is one of your own ties, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of mine. It's called a wounded warrior, and it represents just a small bait fish pattern. It's with that downturned eye like that. Every time you strip it, it tends to cause, as you pull up on it, it makes it keel.
Right.
So it gives that white flash of their belly. Looks like a small wounded minnow. This time of year, those bait fish are just getting just about this size and that color. You know, when they're really small, up till this time of year, they tend to expel more energy chasing them little teeny tiny guys around that they just don't get it back when they eat them.
Right.
But now, this time of year when they're coming of size, it's a great pattern to target the feeding fish.
Perfect. All right, let's catch some more. What's the need for Project Healing Waters?
Well, the purpose of the program is for the physical and mental rehabilitation for the disabled veterans. Some of these guys suffer with PTSD. A lot of them do. A lot of them have physical ailments. The purpose of the program is to teach these guys that there is something more in life than to ultimately to sit and dwell on what's happened to you. Try to give you a better quality of life. Give them a new mission, tie a better fly, tie more flies, go out and catch a fish with the fly you tied or anything like that. It's been a tremendous success. We started in 2018. We started off with about 15 members. At our peak, we got over 30 active guys. We meet once a month, the minimum once a month, and sometimes we fish in the summertime when it's fair weather, just because of some of the abilities of some of the guys. We tend to fish just during fair weather months. But wintertime, we do a lot of fly tying, get together and have some dinner and some laughs and learn a new fly and hopefully some new skills.
There he is.
Yeah, got him.
Good stuff.
Good fish. Good looking fish.
So we come to this drop off, and I accidentally had the fly just hanging in the water, and I saw a fish come up and eat it, swipe at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's another one behind it, Keenan. And I started fishing out further from the boat, and 3 swings in, he came up and whacked it and just nailed it. All right, nice one. Flashing that light, hey, how great is this? Oh yeah, that's a good one. Come on, Dahlia. Did you get him? Oh, what a fish.
Just like that.
After releasing that fish, I'm gonna start again close to the boat. I can actually see a couple of rainbows nosed up against this drop. So I'm gonna start close and swing it close to the boat, and hopefully we'll get lucky. And then I'll work my way out to the money spot, which is actually that brown point right there. So let's see what we can do here. Flop it out on a tight line, let it swing across the drop. Give it a pump or two. That fish looked at it, but didn't do anything. So I'll take out a foot of line, or 6 inches to a foot, represent on top of the water, on top of the drop, let it come off the drop and swing through. Give it a pump or two and repeat. Another 6 inches, put it high, up on the shallow water, let it come off the drop. That fish looked at, there you go. Right at the boat. How do you like that? That's incredible. And that is not a Rocky Mountain whitefish, let me tell you that. Nice grab. Now, is that an average fish or?
That's about average.
Nice. Not a bad average, 17 inches?
No, that's a really good average.
Right. All right, let's get her back in the water. How pretty is that?
That's pretty cool.
And there he is. Whoa, good fish, man. There. Wow. I haven't seen a rainbow jump like that in a long time. Let's keep them buttoned. That's a good fish. I tell you what, Keegan, if our Project Healing Waters vets have half the day we've had this afternoon, it's gonna be tremendous. I'm not gonna horse him in. I'm just gonna let him be the boss if he wants to be.
I like that idea.
Take a line when you can. Oh, what a beautiful trout. Oh, nice grab. Nice grab. What a stud rainbow trout. All right, let's take a look at this stud rainbow trout. How do you like that? You know, you work hard and you will be rewarded. Thanks, buddy. Woo! Now that is 100% fun. Talk to me about how important volunteers are.
Our volunteers are, they're the second most important part of the whole program. Number one important part is we have to have the participants that want to come out. We have to have guys that are willing to, that want to come out and get that help and learn about it, learn about the life and everything. But the volunteers, if we don't have them, there's no hope for the program, because if we don't have somebody there helping out and doing this stuff, the participants don't get it. Most programs fail because of a lack of volunteers. They don't have anybody to help continue to run it. I did serve. I served 4 years active duty in the Marine Corps and 2 years with the National Guard after I got out. Most of our volunteers in our program are veterans. Scott's a vet, Matt, Johnny. It's not a requirement. It's definitely not a requirement to be a volunteer, but I think it helps because there's a relationship that vets have with each other that somebody that's not a vet just doesn't understand. You can relate to each other, knowing that what you both did is the same. So somewhere deep in your heart, you guys are. You're the same in a way.
Project Healing Waters exists for one simple reason. It has the ability to save lives.
The numbers are 22 veterans a day take their own life.
Is that why you're doing what you're doing? Part of it?
That's a big part of it. It's I don't want anybody else to go through that. I don't want anybody else to feel like they have to end it like that. And if I can give them something just to focus on, just draw their attention away from whatever's hurting them. If I can give them something, if they sit down and tie a fly, or they can go out in the afternoon and go fishing or something. I know it does wonders for me on a personal level. If I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling down, I just, it's hard. It's so hard to be sad right here. And you don't have to be, you don't have to be catching fish to do it. You're just being here.
You've already made a difference such that somebody has decided to wake up tomorrow. Whether you know it or not, it's inevitable.
Well, I hope so.
That you've affected somebody that way.
Well, that's all I want. I want somebody just to be happier.
The next day, we sit down with Iraq veteran, Sergeant Jesse Williams. Jesse is lucky to be alive today and has been through some pretty traumatic events during his military career. He has found Project Healing Waters in his journey to help heal.
My name is Jesse Williams. I joined the Army because I was hungry. I hadn't eaten in 4 days. I was homeless in Phoenix, Arizona. And my recruiter bought me the first meal I'd had in 4 days. That seemed about the only reasonable way I could see out of my situation. So I went down and enlisted, and 4 days later I was on a plane to Fort Benning. I actually enlisted on June 4th of 2001. So I was in AIT, Advanced Individual Training, learning my specific job as a radioman when September 11th happened. So then we deployed for two separate one-year deployments to Iraq in 2003 and then again in 2005. As far as when the call came out and we were deployed for that, especially the invasion into Iraq, we were excited, terrified, and everything in between. It's a very complex set of emotions. You want to go out, you want to bring the hurt. People hurt you, and you want to hit back. And we were just given the order saying that we were allowed and directed to go do so, and so we were excited. But anybody that says they aren't scared to go to combat isn't being a little bit untruthful.
Farther down, a little farther downstream, Jesse, next cast. Hey, oh, Roger, right there. Keep it tight, keep it tight. Here, just swing it this way.
There we go. Not a big guy, but it's a fish.
And I actually got hurt on my third deployment in 2009. It was September 22nd, 2009. My Humvee was rammed by a semi-truck in southern Iraq. I don't recall any of these events. It's just as it was explained to me after the fact. The semi-truck hit my Humvee at an estimated 55 miles an hour and tore my seat from the frame of my Humvee, and I went into the windshield, which is about 8 inches thick armored glass, and had a left orbital wall fracture just to the side of my left eye, and then a basilar skull fracture at the back of my head. I had to have approximately 44% of my skull removed in order to give my brain room to swell, and I had portions of 3 lobes of my brain also removed where the tissue was necrotic. At the moment, I'm not actually talking to you. I'm actually singing because the left temporal lobe of my brain is almost entirely gone, and that is our speech center. My brain has rewired itself so that now I'm using the right temporal lobe to speak, which is typically used to sing. I recovered faster than anybody at any of the hospitals I was at had any kind of anticipation that I would, or to the extent that I did. I do have to actively work on quite a few things. But at the same time, you live with things, the situation is what it is. So make the best of it and try to make it better. But yeah, so I still have to actively work on a great number of things.
There he is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice. Made accurate your boat name there with the Never Skunked.
Okay, downstream. Bring it out just a little bit more. Okay, recast and don't get so tight to the bank. Right there. We're gonna hit the other side of the other bank again. One more time. Now. Okay, nice and close to that shelf over there. There, good cast. Just mend it, let it go, leave it be. Leave it be. Okay, recast. Yeah, nice cast. And then, there you set it. Yeah.
Fish on. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I think he got up around a rock or something because all of a sudden that was not just fish.
It was tight. Yeah, it looked like it was. Dang it. There's lots of sticks and crap in there they can get hung on.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Mark knows about that.
I was say, especially if they get that big, it's probably not their first rodeo. This is an exact representation of my skull. This is me. I went in to have a titanium mesh plate put into my head to replace all the skull that I had lost. And when I awoke from that surgery, this was sitting on my bedside table. And the doctors said that they had used my CT scans and had an exact 3D printed copy of my skull made so they could ensure that my plate was going to fit correctly before they cut me at surgery. Said they had no longer had any use for it and asked if that I could keep it or they could dispose of it either way, and I absolutely wanted to keep it. So I think this is an incredible visual representation of what happened and where I've come. I think it gives a great representation of how far I've been able to come. There's a portion coming right down here at the very back that is significantly long, that shows where my skull was fractured at the base, a basilar skull fracture, which are almost always fatal because it directly impinges on your brainstem. So I think it's really interesting to be able to see just how much or how close that was to ending me. And again, this is not normal. This is a large amount of skull. It was a significant portion of my skull and brain that were lost.
I really, really like this spot right up here. And then they should just be kind of stacked in there, right there in that line where he's at, right on that color change. Okay, you're waiting too long in your back cast. It's coming all the way down to the water. Now this is what we're looking for, is that cast up there, like this, okay? And then let it down when it gets out in front of you. The things that you're doing, what you're doing, you're coming all the way back like this, and then going all the way forward like that. And because you don't allow any slack to do it, the line comes up and piles. So you want to pick up, come back, go forward, and lay it down. Now, before you make each movement, you've got to wait till that line's at that proper spot. So pick up, you make your cast back. When your line's behind you, then you go forward. Okay? And try to stop up here in that noon to 1 o'clock range, up top like this, up high like this. Much better, Jesse.
Okay.
Everybody tries and practices and works on that 50-foot cast, you know. The majority of fish are caught in under 30 feet. You see where the slick and the rough water kind of meet right there?
Yeah.
Right there's that line, what we're looking for. They call that a seam.
Okay.
It's where the different current of lines, different currents of water meet. And what causes those seams is the terrain underneath it. There's usually a drop off or something usually that creates those. Just bring the rod tip up and back like that, and that'll just guide him up in here within net distance. Oh, great fish.
When I was at my peak, 27 years old, in Iraq, 195 pounds, I was in excellent physical condition. I was at the top of my game, and I was very good at my job. I did it very, very well. That's why I was been fast tracking through the promotion system. I excelled at what I did because I looked at the details. I break down a mission into the varying components and then develop a plan to execute those components in order to achieve the overall mission. I did that very well. It's really not that different from fly fishing. Either the tying of the flies or the actual fishing itself. It's a matter of breaking your current task down into the varying components, developing a plan to accomplish those tasks in order and to standard to achieve your objective.
Okay, right there is where he ate. So you want to present to him upstream so they can see it coming. Everything was right there, perfect on that one. Do that same thing again. Those fish will sit and they'll watch upstream for food coming to them. The other thing you're doing, that's perfect, that's perfect. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. The other thing you're doing is you're letting the line slip when you start to cast. You should let the line go either here or here.
Okay.
When it's back behind you, let the line out. You're letting the line go when you start like this. And when you do that, it takes all the power out of that rod. How is it that fly fishing has helped you with whatever healing process that you have?
Honestly, the biggest part is just unplugging from everything else for a little while. Get out, and there's a lot of detail-oriented aspects, and that needing to focus on what I'm doing, you're not worried about everything else. You can just kind of zone out for a little bit and just enjoy where you're at. Overall, Project Healing Waters and fly fishing have really done quite a lot for me. One of the things that I didn't realize when I all of a sudden was retired from the Army and had a seemingly great situation. I had more than enough income to live well on, and I was comfortable, but I was sinking into a hole pretty fast, mentally and emotionally. I didn't understand it at the time why, until after the fact. I didn't have the camaraderie. I didn't have my brothers and sisters in arms anymore. I didn't have a mission. Project Healing Waters has provided me a new perspective on a great number of aspects of my life. Being able to get out and focus, have a great time, and get back to some of the basics has really taken me from being spiraling down, circling the drain, to where I feel like I'm thriving and I'm absolutely loving what I do. I feel like you only survive inside your comfort zone. You want to live it. If you want to live, you have to breach that barrier. So I would highly advise anybody else that's hearing this, give it a shot. Get out here, meet some people, have a great time, and live.
Scott Knorr, being a 35-year Navy Mustang, is the perfect example of benefiting from a program in transitioning to program leadership to enable other veterans in their pursuit of healing.
Well, as you know, we always roll with the punches here on the New Fly Fisher. We were supposed to fish today with a vet named Scott. He's got the COVID, so we're going to make the best of it. Keegan and I found this great little stream that we're going to go walk and wade today on the search for cutthroat. Today should be a fantastic day. Nothing like a short 2-mile walk in to get the blood pumping, huh?
Yep. Get it uphill, get a little sweat going on.
It's fun. But, you walk in, you're gonna find fish.
You're gonna find fish and you're gonna find scenery that you don't get to see from the road.
All right, so what's the plan for today?
We're gonna step into the creek. We're gonna look for small cut banks, shaded banks underneath trees. Of course, the boils behind boulders, and just see if we can't catch some fish. And we'll trade off, go 1 for 1.
Perfect.
I'll catch one, you'll catch one. There he is. So this is what we're after, the cutthroat trout. They call them the cutthroat because of their orange slash there. They're just fun. They're stocked up in here, just full. They have weirs down at the bottom of these creeks near the Snake River to keep the rainbows from getting up in here and try and keep these species pure and keep them around.
All right, so I really like what I'm coming up on here. There's the main creek that's running down, and then you've got a confluence or an inflow coming in from the other side. There's a bit of a pool here in the front, and right in the center of this pool is a rock. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start close to shore, close into the bank. You never know how close or how far those cutthroat are. And I'm gonna slowly work my way out to see if I can get something to come up. Fishing lanes is important because that's where the food goes. You fish the seams, you fish the bubble lines, and that's where the fish will be looking to feed. But slow and steady is the key. Pick it apart. You never know where there's going to be a fish. With cutthroat, they can be shallow, they can be in the deep part of the pool, but one thing's for certain is they are ambush predators, and they will come up. Oh, that was a look. They will come up and crush something on top. There's one. So Keegan's moved ahead looking for more spots, and I've come to this great little pool. So this is a hybrid. This is what they're trying to get rid of in these creeks, but we're gonna let this guy go because that's what we do. Barbless hook pops out. He's no worse for wear at all.
I saw one just right. I thought I saw one turn on it right there. There he is. Maybe what I had just wasn't big enough for him.
It's one thing I've noticed though, you know, like the bigger the hoppers are, the bigger the bugs are, seemingly the more success I have.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's, I mean, they're barely big enough to get that in their mouth.
So this is a unique situation where I've got a bunch of branches that are in my way, and the only way I can get up on these fish is to get down and be stealthy so that I don't spook them by standing up right on top of the pool. Unfortunately, the disadvantage of that is you lose a lot of sight ability when you're fly fishing for cutthroat because you can't see them coming. And I've now already pulled the fly away from 2 fish, and I just saw them right at the very end. But they're not spooked by me being here, and if I can wait long enough for one to actually eat, then it'll all be worth it. Hey! So there you have it. A little stealthy action does the trick. Also helps to have a net man behind you too. Nice. All right, so we raised a couple of fish on that big chubby. and I couldn't get them back again. So Keegan gave me his rig with the smaller flies on it, and this little cutthroat. This little cutthroat came up and took the parachute. Nice little cutthroat on a fine small creek in eastern Idaho. Sweet, gotta love it. Stealth is the key. There we go. The humpy does work. Oh, there's a good fish. There's a good one. Can't complain. Cutthroat, wild cutthroat on a wild stream in eastern Idaho. It's magic. It's absolutely magical.
And they don't live in ugly places.
They don't. That cliche stands true, for sure. One more cast, right?
Yes.
Later that night, we were lucky enough to be invited to a Project Healing Waters Idaho Falls fly tying event.
Okay, so everybody, if I can get your attention for a minute. It's with great excitement and pleasure that I'm welcoming you guys out to the Snake River Roadhouse for a special tying session. Keegan's gonna lead us in a tie tonight. Standard rules for Project Healing Waters: no drugs, alcohol. Let's get along, have a good time, harass each other.
We're gonna do Wounded Warrior tonight. It's a streamer pattern. It looks like a small bait fish. It's real simple, but it's highly effective. We're gonna start wrapping the hook right behind the bead. Do a few more wraps so you get a hot collar, a little red collar right there. Put the hot collar, knot it, and you're done.
What an excellent night with the veterans from Project Healing Waters Idaho Falls. Tomorrow, we meet up with James Corns, a veteran from the Korean War.
James C. Corns, Sr. I am from the Cherokee Nation in North Carolina. Didn't live on it long, but anyway, I had a good friend of mine and down there, and we decided that we'd had enough of Smoky Mountains and all that, and didn't see that the job opportunity was even there, and we decided that we'd go do something about it. And the rumors get back, you know, if you go up and to so-and-so, so we went to Detroit. You know, in those days when a young man was traveling, they wanted you to have parents' approval. They would pin a envelope on you with your name and all inside of it, and the driver would take responsibility for your trip. So we did that, and the people we ran into up there are very nice, and he made Douglas and I birth certificates and signed up as our guardian, and away we went. It wasn't that hard. Not in my day, anyhow.
Throw it out there, Jim. Let it sit for a while. Even if he goes by it, Let it just sit there for a minute and let them fish come back and see it. You know, wait a little longer in your back cast. Strip it. Hold, stop. Oh. You get it right down in the water like this and your line is straight like that, okay? So on your final cast, your final cast, every single one should all be the same. All be the same. The only thing that should be different is when it gets out there like this, lower the rod down, nice and slow. Just lower it down to the water. Because we're getting that line up, and it doesn't matter which way is forward and backwards. When you're making that prep cast, that false cast, you're just making the line fly the same direction both ways, you know, all the way down in the water. That line's got to be straight. Just do this. Just let the rod down slowly. Okay, hold on. He's coming. Come on. Just like that. Perfect. That was perfect. It's exactly what you want to do every time. Cast that, let it cast out there, and when it comes down, then you can just lower your rod tip when it's done. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do now.
Perfect. Now just be patient. Wait for it. Oh, he didn't eat it. Stop. Twitch it. Here it comes. Set. Oh my goodness, huh?
Oh, almost. Oh.
Let him run if he wants to run. Let him run. Don't hold him tight. You'll break your line. Oh, Jim.
That was a thrill of my life right there, especially out in this pond. Yeah, kind of made my day. I was in recon. So my job was to go back behind the lines and draw some maps or get some information and then work our way back to friendly people and give it to S2 and let them deal with the fact. And we'd jump in and get back out. I seldom talk about this because I get emotional, but Douglas never came home. So I carried that with me to this day. And it was very difficult. The whole thing was very difficult. We got in places where we didn't know where we'd get out. We just had to work our way out. That's where Dougie stayed, where we got him out. So, you know, when you're 16 and 17, you really don't have any sense. I wasn't afraid of anything. Nothing could happen to me. You know, the Superman of the day. I only got scared after I got out. Yep. So. Now just slowly kind of
lift the rod. Here we go.
Yeah, it's not bad. Oh, I'm good. Yep.
Turn the seat around so it's on the up front there.
Okay.
There you go.
Gene, yeah, she made a circle. I'll explain that to you. Seemed like all my life, my circle never closed. I couldn't find what was missing. And when Gene and I got together, she closed that gap. Gene is very creative, and she likes to go to places that have art projects where she can see and go. And we happened to go to this one, and
I saw a little sign. Maybe we'd gone to lunch or something, and it was like, oh, fly fishing expo. I'm like, hey, let's just go over to the fly fishing expo. And so we did, and we walked in the door, and Scott had a table just set up right there. And he wears a lot of veteran shirts and stuff. And Scott's like, hey, are you a veteran? And we're like, yeah. And so we talked, and
we started talking and about what they did and what went on at the meetings and the type of people who attended the meetings. And I went to the first one, and I knew that was a place I needed to be. It requires walking in a door and leaving what's out there, and you're joining a bunch of guys who are glad to see you, and it brings a smile, and you forget a lot of the things that you brought to the door, and it's just it's a warm feeling, I guess.
And that's one of the things that Project Healing Waters has brought to him and to both of us, is just that camaraderie, that understanding, even if they don't always have to talk about it, that understanding of shared horrible experiences. And I think that's, they have a lot of bravado, but it's still there. And I just think that's an important aspect of the club.
Good cast. Good mend. Good mend. Now just follow it. Point your rod at it. Point your rod tip. Follow your fly. Follow the fly. Here you go. There you go, and that's why we throw it downstream some, so you get more time on the water, Okay, we're gonna catch fish right here. Set shoots. There we go.
Get him quick.
Pick the rod tip up. Okay. Oh, let him go. Let him go some. Let him go some. Let him go some. Now we'll slowly pick him up. Bring him back in. Now just turn. Turn. Nice and easy. Let him go if he wants to go. Let him go. Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Strip in just a little more if you can.
Yep, can. I did.
Okay, now just pick the rod tip straight up in the air and angle it towards us. Ah! Oh, the fly just popped up. Oh!
That felt great. Absolutely great. To answer a question you asked earlier, in the interview.
What was the question, Jim?
The question was, how does it make you feel fishing with the team, the other members? And this is what I was trying to tell you. When you go through the door, everything's out there. When I came in to talk to you this morning, relaxed a little bit, and the first fish I caught in the pond, nothing else mattered. I knew there was another one in there and another. You could probably see in my face and my actions just how relaxed I am right now. It's great, man. It's great. I bet you we could catch 2 or 3 fish right here. Just cast downstream.
Maybe. There's no reason not to try.
But every time I meet someone who is a veteran, I talk to them about joining our waters, and tell them how nice it is and how you're kind of at home and couldn't be at a nicer place. And it's not just a little local place. This is spread out all over the place, I understand. Know that I'm just very, very thankful that I found them, or they found me, or we found each other, whatever. But I look forward to it. I wish we had weekly meetings instead of once a month. Once they get in the door, the reasoning is pretty obvious, that there's always laughing and kidding around, and you could just lose yourself into tying flies and talking about your times. And, I would try to get every veteran that I know to join in, because it's there for them.
And pitch that a little farther upstream on that other shelf, on that other side there. Yeah, right there. There he is. Oh! Not so close right there. Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out.
Do you find on these cliffs it's all a reaction bite? They see it and they hit it?
Yeah, most of the good fish that we catch on the cliffs like this are exactly that. I mean, they eat it half a second after it smacks water.
So after going through a section like those cliffs that we just did, I noticed that I was actually bouncing my fly off the cliff wall a couple times. And you've got to think about when you cast your fly, the lead of the fly is actually going forward. So when you hit a wall or a stone or a piece of wood, the knot is actually the first thing that comes in contact with the piece of structure. So if you do bounce your fly off a rock, or you do bounce your fly off a cliff like that, test your knot. Look at that. It broke off just like that piece of cake. So check it out, retie. I'm glad I did, because if I catch one of those big South Fork fish, I would have lost it.
I'd pitch that out to the left here real quick, just on the flat. Now this one, when you pitch it out there, start stripping it back right away. There's that trough there, and anywhere inside that trough should be good, and the occasional little skate. This guy's gonna hang
There he is.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's a good fish.
Good fish.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Eat the top one or the dropper?
The hopper.
Nice.
I think it's a cutthroat the way it ate.
Oh yeah, the way it looks, the color of it, it's definitely a cutthroat.
Yeah, that was fun. It's been a bit of a struggle this morning, which is fine, which is great fun. Trying to figure things out, but got a hopper dropper on here, and all along this bank, this nice cutty came up and ate it. Get a good look at it here. Let's get him turned to you here. Nice stab, Keegan. Very nice. Oh, what a pretty fish. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Not a giant, but a great fish. Tons of fun. That's what you come here for. Hopper eater. All right, we're gonna let him go.
Equipment used for this special Project Healing Waters Idaho Falls Adventure in Yellowstone Teton Territory is as follows. Rods were 4, 5, and 6 weight 9-foot fly rods with mid-arbor reels holding 4, 5, and 6 weight forward floating lines. Leaders were 9-foot 3X leaders with 4X and 5X tippet, added if needed. Flies included a variety of nymphs, including the Hot Oink CDC Jig Metallic Pink, Keegan's Stacked PM Double D, and the Olive Bullet Quill. We used various streamers in natural colors, including olive, black, and brown. Keegan Barrett's Wounded Warrior, Eldon Barrett's Golden Stone.
Oh, that's a good one.
There you go.
Jeez, Keegan. That's a thick fish.
Yeah,
That's a thick fish right there.
Ooh, you missed it.
Now,
You want me to move a little closer?
no, in that situation, was I wrong to set the hook, or should I have let him? Because I wasn't 100%
You can't
confident.
help. If you're not 100% confident, you should. I don't think you should know. But it's if you start taking your time and relaxing and not setting the hook every time, and if you're not sure, you'll end up missing fish. Hit that green zone in the line and the slick right down below us, a little bit farther in. Oh, hey!
Nice fish.
Scott Ferrara served on a special operations submarine, the U.S. Kamehameha, covertly deploying and retrieving special forces, including Navy SEALs.
So you've got the active war, people are trying to get, most, I would imagine, are trying to get away from. And you've got Project Healing Waters, which is giving them a foundation to build on something beautiful. What's your hope for these vets?
So fundamentally, it gives them a whole new toolbox to work with, right? And it changes their foundations in two ways. One, it gives them this fly fishing experience, tying flies, learning how to cast, catching fish. But even more importantly, it gives them a venue where they can be with people who have experienced the same traumas, go through the same things of wanting to push that down, wanting to have that out of their mind, but they're able to talk with someone about it who's experienced the same things.
I think the most important question is, what about that guy or lady who's sitting in their basement and doesn't know what to do?
So it's always a challenge to try and get those that are really struggling out from that hole and bring them in and give them that help. All I can say to them is that we are an open door. We welcome all vets, all services, and it'll be the most rewarding thing that you can do, from tying flies to getting out on the water with other vets. It will help heal you. It will help get you back into society. And it's something that gives you that exhilaration and that fun that you experienced in that mission. So come on out. Come out and tie flies with us. Come out and fish with us. Come out, learn how to cast. We have events every month. There's 186 different Project Healing Waters programs across the country. And it's as easy as getting online, finding out which area your program is in, and then contacting that program lead or that assistant program lead, and we welcome them with open arms. As soon as I get an email, as soon as I get a phone call, I return that phone call, have a conversation, let them know what we're about, let them know that they're welcomed, let them know that they're gonna make friends, they're gonna enjoy it. It's a great, safe place, and it also gives them a lot of that fun camaraderie that they miss from the service. So come on out, tie flies with us, and learn how to fish. Healing Waters is an incredible thing. All right.
Nice fish.
Nice job, Keeg.
Pew!
Nice job.
Pretty work. Nice fish.
Good deal.
Well, that's about all the time we have for this episode of The New Fly Fisher. I want to thank Keegan Barrett, Scott Ferrara, and of course the veterans for allowing us to see into the world of post-conflict and Project Healing Waters. For more on our series, check us out on all the socials and of course the web at www.thenewflyfisher.com. Remember, adventure is out there. All you need to do is go and find it. And what better way than to do it with a fly rod in your hand? From all of us here at The New Fly Fisher, thanks for watching. I'm Mark Melnick, and please consider taking a closer look at a Project Healing Waters chapter near you. It's important work.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by
Semperfly, The Lodge at Palisades Creek, Fetzer Surgical, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,